Welcome back to part 2 of the Ultimate Hazbin Hotel review. Yay! I'm filming this currently at 10:50, which is why I don't have the lights all out, because it's pretty late. And I got work in the morning, so I'm gonna make this quick. Now, if you haven't seen my first part of the Ultimate Hazbin Hotel review, which first off, you should watch it. But basically, my opinions on everything before these two episodes, episode 5 and episode 6, is that the pilot, I'm not a big fan of. I liked some of the concepts they did there, but as a whole, I just didn't really enjoy the episode. The Attic music video is pretty good, but not personally for me. Episode 1 feels all over the place, and I really don't like the way they try to reintroduce these characters, and also Adam has some really awful writing, but as a whole the episode's not bad. Episode 2 is still over the place, but is not as bad as episode 1. Episode 3 is pretty good, but there's some pacing issues, and I don't like the recast of the Egg Boys. And episode 4 is really good. I personally think it's the best episode of the first 4, as well as Loser Baby is so far my favorite song, and so far I think that might stay. But now we finally have episode 5 and episode 6. I wasn't going to initially talk about it. I was going to wait until episode 7 and episode 8 come out, and then I would talk about all 4. However, I want to talk about these two episodes because holy shit. Charlie spends all night trying to figure out why the hotel isn't working. She then comes to the decision that she needs her dad's help. Now, this is an issue because her dad is Lucifer, first off. Crazy, as well as they have some personal issues, which was established back in the pilot as well as the first episode. But she calls her dad, and he is very excited that first off she called him and is inviting him to visit her, which doesn't usually happen. So he's very excited about that, and he's excited to visit the hotel until he actually sees it and isn't very impressed. Also, Alaster shows up, and they both fight for Charlie's attention, but suddenly an old friend of Alaster appears, and Husk is sensing that she's probably here with bad intentions, which turns out to be true because holy shit, the hotel's being attacked. What? Turns out this old friend got into some trouble with the loan sharks as she stole $50K from them, stole their car, as well as killed one of their girlfriends, and Alaster just kills them, so they weren't really that big of a deal. However, the hotel's destroyed, and this proves Lucifer's point that he's been establishing throughout the entire episode, that sinners cannot be redeemed. But this entire incident, however, helps Charlie and her dad reconnect, and Lucifer decides to help her out and get her a meeting in heaven, and that's the entire episode. And I really like it. First off, I really like that Lucifer isn't like this big evil guy. He's just kind of weird, as well as I really like Alastor here, because usually he's just kind of like a unknown character. However, we get to see a side of him where he actually does care about the hotel and does care about Charlie. Now, maybe in the future it's revealed that he actually doesn't care. I really like the fact that they're adding more character to Alastor and making him actually care for Charlie as well as the hotel. And also, even though I like episode 2, 3, and 4, they didn't really focus that much on the actual Hazbin Hotel. They more focused on other drama outside of the hotel, which first off, I don't hate that it's... why am I moving my hands all over the place? I don't hate the fact that they are looking at other parts of hell and not really focusing on the Hazbin Hotel. However, we're here for the Hazbin Hotel, so it's nice to see the show kind of go back to the Hazbin Hotel. And there's really no negatives I have here. I really like the songs in this episode. And as a whole, I think it's a really good episode. I think it's actually better than episode 4, which is crazy because episode 4 is really good. And this one I think is better. Charlie and Vaggie go to heaven, which Vaggie isn't a big fan of, which will be revealed later. Charlie goes to court with Adam being there to be against Charlie's plan. Adam gives 3 reasons for someone to enter heaven, and Charlie shows angel dust hanging out with the gang, and he does the 3 things that Adam gives, which proves that sinners can in fact change. Oh, and also Cherry Bomb's there. Probably should mention that. But the meeting with heaven doesn't go to plan because it turns out that they don't actually know how people get into heaven. It's also revealed that heaven doesn't actually know about the extermination, only a select few do. It's also revealed that Vaggie was in fact an exterminator. And the episode ends with Charlie and Vaggie being sent to hell, and I think this is the best episode so far. It's really good. It's crazy how each episode gets better. So kind of my own personal theory is that when they started out with episode 1, they didn't know exactly what they wanted to do, but as the show progressed, they found out what they want to do and they got their footing, and now the show is really good. First off, I just have to point it out there, I really like Adam this episode. In the first episode, I thought he was super annoying. With almost every single sentence he says the word fuck multiple times in the first episode, and it got really annoying. I know the point of him being written like this was to make the audience be annoyed by him and therefore don't like him. However, there are way better ways to make him annoying, because the song that he sings in the first episode is really good, and it shows exactly what his personality is. And in this episode, they do a really really good job showing his personality without making him super annoying. I also really like the fact that angels don't actually know how people get into heaven, because they show that angel dust does indeed have the 3 things that Adam thinks makes people get into heaven, and he's not in heaven. So I really like the fact that they don't actually know how people get into heaven. I really like that twist. I like the fact that no one actually knows about the exterminations going on, because in the first episode, like, you assume that heaven is the one that's actually sending them, but it turns out it's only one head angel that's doing it secretly, which I really like. I also really like the Vaggie twist. I think that was really cool and really clever. It's kind of a nice way to kind of blend her design into like her actual, like, it, what am I trying to say here? Because Vaggie's design has a giant X. At first, I just thought it was kind of like a nice visual thing. However, it actually serves her character. As a whole, I think this is a really good episode, and definitely my favorite episode of the show so far. There's only real one negative for it, which isn't even a negative thing. It just wasn't a big fan of the music, but the music isn't bad. As a whole, it's a really good episode, and it's nice to see this show finally has their feet on the ground and are running. And they're doing a really good job. I really am excited for the final 2 episodes, and I really hope this show has a really good finale. I know we're getting a season 2, so I hope season 2 is as good as season 1 is so far, because this is really good. Holy shit, it's 11:07. I gotta go to bed. Bye.
Now, stay tuned.
All right, now I know business has been a bit slow lately. Yes, it's no one's fault, okay? I'm not naming any names here. Moxie,